أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين اللهم افتح لنا حكمتك وانشر علينا رحمتك يا ذا الجلال والإكرام رب زدنا علما أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم ألهمنا رشدنا وأعذنا من شرور أنفسنا اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم طهر قلوبنا من النفاق اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن آمين يا رب العالمين اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته إن شاء الله نحن ندرس الدرس الدرس الثماني الآن وأهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم في هذه المحاضرة قد وصلنا الدرس الثامن الحمد لله وشكرا كثيرا بدأنا هذا الكتاب قبل 3 أيام تقريبا وأنا أقرأ الدرس الثامن إن شاء الله أولا وبعده أنا أشرحه إن شاء الله ربي الله وعرف إبراهيم أن الله ربه لأن الله حي لا يموت وأن الله باق لا يغيب وأن الله قوي لا يغلبه شيء وعرف إبراهيم أن الله رب الكوكب وأن الله رب القمر وأن الله رب الشمس وأن الله رب العالمين وهدى الله إبراهيم وجعله نبيا وخليلا وأمر الله إبراهيم أن يدعو قومه ويمنعهم من عبادة الأصنام. So this is lesson 8. So far we studied 7 lessons that were discussing about the stories, the story of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. In lesson 7, the title of lesson number 7 was Man Rabbi. It was a question, right? Who is my Lord? Man Rabbi. That's the question. That was a question posed by Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and in lesson number 8 now we have reached the answer. Rabbi Allah. My Lord is Allah. This is mudaf lay Rabbi Allah. My Lord is Allah. Allahu Rabbi, actually it is Allah Rabbi, like this. All right, then we have the lesson starts. So Arafa Ibrahimu anna Allah Rabbuhu. Arafa, it's the fi'l madin, right? And it means he knew, kisi cheez ko pehchanna, janna. So Arafa Ibrahim fa'il, anna Allah Rabbuhu, that Allah is his Lord. So Allahu lafzul jalala wa ismu anna. ربه خبر أن وهو مضاف إليه ربه هو مرفوع. So Arafa is a verb here. Its file is Ibrahim and it is maf'ulun bihi is anna Allah rabbuhu. All of it, all these words, 4 words, anna Allah rabbuhu. This is the maf'ulun bihi of Arafa. So we can say that Allah Rabbuhu is all of the sentences mansub. So we can also have a sentence as mansub. So you call it fi mahallin nasbin, the sentence. لأن Allah hayyun la yamut, because Allah is alive. He does not die. So yesterday we also checked it in the last session that anna khabaru anna here is hayyun as well as la yamut. So you have two khabars here. All right. Wa anna Allah baqin la yughib, and that uh, Allah is remaining baqin. It is ismun mankus. La yughib, he does not disappear. Wa anna Allah qawiyyun la yaghlibuhu shay'un, that Allah is and that Allah is powerful, qawiyyun, and nothing overpowers him. So we have the verb yaghlibu, ghalaba yaghlibu. So yaghlibu is mudari', and when we know that if there is a pronoun that gets attached to a verb, whether madi or mudari', that attached pronoun is always maf'ulun bihi. So who is maf'ulun bihi, and shay'un here is fa'il because it is marfu of the verb yaghlibu. So la yaghlibu is the negation, negative verb here. La yaghlibuhu shay'un, nothing overpowers him. Wa arafa Ibrahimu, and Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam knew anna Allah Rabbul Kawkab. Mudaf mudaf lay Rabbul Kawkab, the Lord of the stars, celestial body, right? And it's self-explanatory. I don't think it needs any explanation here further. Wa anna Allah Rabbul Qamar, mudaf mudaf lay Rabbul Qamar, and that Allah is Allah here. Allah is the Lord of the moon. Wa anna Allah Rabbul Shams. Wa anna Allah Rabbul Alameen. Now it was actually Alamun, Jama Muzakkar Salim, but because we know that when we have to use the accusative or the genitive form of sound masculine plural, it gets a ina sound, right? So alamuna became alamina because it's mudaf ilay, right? And mudaf ilay has to be majroor. So the majroor form of alamun is alamin. Like we have sajiduna, sajidina. We have muslimuna, muslimina, right? Muslimina would be the accusative as well as the genitive form for the sound masculine plural, ina sound. So you cannot say Rabbul Alamun, that would be wrong because it's mudaf ilayh has to be majroor. So it is majroor, and alamatul, and it is ya is the is representing here alamat of majroor here, alamatu jar. So we say alaminu, alamina is majroor here. Why is majroor? Because it's mudaf ilayh, and it's mudaf ilayh, and alamatul jarrihi wa huwa alamatul jarrihi aliya li'annahu jama muzakkar salim. All right. So then we have wahadallahu Ibrahima. Hada is again a very important verb. Hada means guided. He guided. Now this verb is used in different patterns in the Quran. For example, it can have two mafulun bihi. It can have one mafulun bihi. And there are other usages of this. So inshallah, in detail, we'll study this verb in future when it comes in the lesson. So it means he guided. Wahadallahu, and Allah guided. Who did he guide? Ibrahim. Ibrahim is maf'ulun bihi. And Allah guided Ibrahim, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Wa ja'alahu, and ja'ala again, this is a very important verb, ja'ala. So we can see that in this sentence, we are having two very, very important verbs. Very important, both of them. Hada is naqis because it has a weak letter at the end on lam kalima. And ja'ala is again very important verb. There is that's a lot of details it needs. Ja'ala means he made, and its usage, it can be used as sister of kana also, and not as a sister of kana as well. So this is again important verb. When the time comes, I'll explain that in detail. But as of now, we have ja'ala means he made. He made, and remember it will accept two objects always. It will have two mafulun bihis. So for example, in here we have ja'alahu. He created it. Let's say for example, so who is the first mafulun bihi, because if there is an attached pronoun that gets attached to the verb, that attached pronoun would be the mafulun bihi. And then we have Nabiyeen mansub. So this is another maf'ulun bihi here. So we have two maf'ulun bihi, and khalilan is doing an atfun biyan. So وَجَعَلَهُ نَبِيًّا وَخَلِيلًا. So وَهَدَى اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَجَعَلَهُ نَبِيًّا وَخَلِيلًا. So who goes back to يَدُلُّ إِلَى Ibrahim? So it will be him. So وَهَدَى اللَّهُ Ibrahim, and Allah guided Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَجَعَلَهُ, and he made him نَبِيًّا, a prophet. وَخَلِيلًا, and a friend. So this Nabiyan here is the second maf'ulun bihi here. So Nabiyan comes from Naba, right? So Nabiyan would be the prophet, Khalil would be the friend. But for the word friend, there are so many words in Arabic, so many. But you can see Khalil word has been used here. With respect to Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he has many titles in the Quran, like Abul, and in our Deen, I mean, he has a very important position. He's the Abul Anbiya. His title, one of the title, he is Abul Anbiya, that he's the father of all the prophets. That's a title, right, that he carries, and but a very important title and a very glorious title that he has in the Quran, that is Wama kana minal mushrikeen, that he was not among those who did shirk. Wama kana al mushrikeen, he was not among mushrikun. That's a title in the Quran he has. So Khalilullah is another title he has. So Khalilan, and the friend of God. Wa amara Allah Ibrahim, and Allah ordered Ibrahim. So Amara is again another verb here, Madi. It has a Hamza in the beginning. So if any verb carries a Hamza anywhere, right, in a trilateral verb, that would be a Hamzatized verb, right? So you call it Mahmuz. Mahmuz is a verb that carries a Hamza anywhere, whether in the Fa kalima, Ain kalima, or Lam kalima. So this is a Hamzatized verb, or we can say in Arabic, Mahmuz. So wa amara Allahu Ibrahim, and Allah ordered Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam an yad'uwa. So da'a yad'u is the verb. Da'a yad'u. So da'a is again nakis because it has alif at the end, but actually it's waw that morphed into alif for easy pronunciation. So da'a is a nakis verb, right? Da'a yad'u. Now when you hear yad'u, you don't put uh, because obviously we know that mudariya has three forms, like marfu, mansub, and majrur. But we have to remember the ayadu when this is a mansub form here, because this is anna yadu'a is masdar mu'awwal. So what is the masdar mu'awwal? It actually takes out the tense from it. So there are two ways to translate it. An yadu'a, you can say da yadu means to invite. So an yadu'a, to invite, or we can say that he invites. Both translations are correct. So it depends on whether you use it in the form of gerund or how you use it in translation. But an yadu'a, so Amrullah Ibrahim, and Allah ordered Sayyidina Ibrahim an yaduwa, that he invites, or we can simply say, if we take out the tense, to invite, right? To invite is how you translate this in the modern English. But one thing you have to remember here is that the last letter here gets a fatha, right? So with this pattern of from Bab Nasara, when we come from Bab Nasar, this is Bab Nasara, from Nakis, we have to put fatha in mansub form. That is clearly explained in book number 2 of Durusul Lugat al-Arabiya. Book number 2, lesson number, I think it's 29, no, 28, I think. 27, 20, 20, and one of these three lessons, which talks about Nakis. So, anna yad'uwa, to invite, or that he invites, qawmahu, his people, right? Qawmahu here is maf'ulun bihi. That's the reason why it is qawma. Otherwise, it was qawmun. So qawmun plus hu. So it became qawmahu because mudaf ilayh, it gets a fatha. The mudaf gets a fatha. That he invites qawmahu, he invites his people. Wa yamna'ahum. So the verb here is mana'a yamna'u. Mana'a yamna'u. Yamna'u is the mudari'a. So yamna'u, but here it's yamna'ahum. Yamna'hum min ibadil asnam, and that he prohibits, protects, or we can say that he prevents, and that he prevents them. Amna'hum, mana karna, जैसे we say in Urdu, from ibadatil asnam, from the worship of the idols. Ibadat in Urdu we write ibadat with an open ta, Ta al-maftuha, open. But here is ta al-marbuta. Ta marbuta using in Arabic. So ibadatu, it was actually ibadatul asnam, worship of the idols. But because you have a min before it, so ibada becomes ism majroor. Wa huwa mudaf. Al-asnam will be mudaf ilayh. So now let's do the complete translation. وَأَمَرَ اللَّهُ إِبْرَاهِيمَ أَنْ يَدْعُوَ قَوْمَهُ وَيَمْنَعَهُم مِّنْ إِبَادَةِ الْأَصْنَامِ. And Allah commanded Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam to invite his people and prevent them from the worship of idols. All right. Moving forward, قال Ibrahim, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam said, did we, no, where did we reach? Hold on. So let's move to the page number 16. So this was 16. This is 16. Yeah. Why did we reach 16? I think, is there in, okay, there it is. There it is, sorry. So Ibadatul Asnam. So then I think the lesson here completes. Then we have lesson number 9 getting started with it. Lesson number 9 is Da'watu Ibrahima. It is the Da'watu means invitation. So Da'a Yad'u, Ud'u Da'wa Tan, or Da'watun is the Masdar. So you have Da'a means to invite. Its Mudari will be Yad'u, Yad'u. And then its Amr will be Ud'u, right? That will be the Amr. Ud'u, like we have Ud'u ila sabila rabbika bil hikmah. Invite all the way of thy Lord. Uh, uh, Idu ila sabila rabbika bil hikmah. Invite all to the way of thy Lord with wisdom, right? Bil hikmah wal maw'izatil hasana. وَجَادِلْهُمْ بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. So this is an ayat from the Quran. Udu means to invite. So that's the amr of da'a yad'u, udu, and the masdar will be da'watan. When we write the masdar in mansub, da'watan, da'watun, or da'watin, all three forms. So da'watu would be the invitation. Da'watu Ibrahim. So this is the masdar. Da'watu Ibrahim, invitation of Sayyidina Ibrahim. So what was the invitation about? Let's go through that. And we also see that da'watu here, it does not have an al. This is a noun, right? It doesn't have an alif lam. It doesn't have a tanween. Why? Because it is mudaf. Mudaf can never have an al. It can never have tanween. So this tells us this is mudaf, right? So keep that in mind. All right. So we have wada'a Ibrahimu qawmahu ilallahi wa mana'ahum min ibadatil asnam. And Sayyidina Ibrahim invited qawmahu, his people, again maf'ulun bihi wa huwa mansub wa mudaf ilayh, ilallah, he invited his people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wa mana'ahum, and wa mana'ahum, and he uh, prevented, right? Mana'a is the past tense here. Mana'ahum, he prevented them. So if it's a tense, if it's fi'l ma, then whom would be the maf'ul bihi. He prevented them. Wa mana'ahum, and he prevented them min ibadatil asnam, from the worship of idols. Sorry, qala Ibrahimu liqawmihi. Sayyidina Ibrahim said to his people, qawmihi, liqawmihi. So we always find qala is followed by li. Li would be obviously who you are talking to. Like he said to me. So he said if he's talking to me, to before me, you get a li there. So whosoever a person is talking to gets a li before. So it will be generally the rule after qala. So qala Ibrahimu li qawmihi. So Ibrahim said that Ibrahim said to his people. Ibrahimu marfu here because it's file of qala. Ma ta'budun. What do you worship? Now ta'buduna is abada ya'budu. And here he's asking the question because this is for uh, ta'buduna. What are you all worshipping? So ma here is the mafulun bihi actually of ta'buduna. It should be actually ta'buduna ma. You are worshipping what? For example, if we change it, but because we know that in istifham, istifham gets the adatu istifham is always to be used in the beginning. So the structure changed, but actually ma here is the file. Sorry, la hawla wala quwwata. Ma is the maf'ulun bihi of ta'buduna. Ta'buduna fi'lun mudari'un marfu'un wa alamatu raf'ihi Salamatu rafi subuti noon. It is subuti noon because uh, it is a verb, right? Subuti noon min asmal khamsa. Subuti noon fa'il al waw. Waw is the fa'il. Right. So he Qala Ibrahim li qawmihi, so Sayyidina Ibrahim said to his people, what do you worship? What do you worship? So qalu na'budu asnaman. Qalu, they said, na'budu, we worship asnaman, we worship idols. Now asnaman here is, there's an extra alif there. Why? Because it's indefinite here, right? So it is asnamun, we worship idols, but you cannot say asnamun because it is mafulun bihi mansub, so it gets a double fatha. And we know that if there is a double fatha, that kind of those kind of words get an extra alif in the indefinite scenario. Na'budu asnaman, na'budu abada ya'budu. So na'budu, who is a na'budu? How are we going to define na'budu? Fi'lun mudari'un marfu'un bi الضمة الظاهرة فاعله مستتر تقديره نحن نعبد إياك نعبد, right? نعبد وإياك نستعين. نعبد means we worship. قالوا نعبد أصناما, they said we worship uh, idols. قال إبراهيم, so Sayyidina Ibrahim said, هل يسمعونكم إذ تدعوا, هل يسمعونكم إذ تدعوا. Now this is a very important, and you can see it's a very intelligent question actually. How is it intelligent? Because see, what is it? Let's first translate it. Hal is a question. Yasma'u. Sami'a yasma'u. Yasma'u. Yasma'u means Sami'a means they heard. Yasma'u means they are hearing. Yasma'una. Yasma'una would be the plural. Yasma'una kum. Kum is the mafulun bihi, right? Of yasma'una. So hal yasma'una, he is asking them, yasma'una, do they worship? Hal yasma'unakum, do they listen to you? Yasma'una means they. Uh, it's not second person, it's third person. Yasma'una, do they, yasma'una, listen to you? Do they listen to you? Hal yasma'unakum, do they listen to you? Is tad'u, when you call them. Tad'u, second person. File would be the second. For this is for the second person. Tad'una, plural. So do they listen to you when you call them? Now the question here is that this is an intelligent question, I said, is because for any person to help you, yes, he can help you. That's a secondary thing. Whether he can help you or not help you, that is secondary thing. But for that person to help you, it's very important that he knows about the problem. And to know the problem, he should listen to the problem, right? If I have a friend thousands and thousands of miles away, for example, in Bangalore or somewhere else, and I know I need some help, and I know this friend of mine can help me, but he didn't hear my problem. He doesn't know about the problem, right? How can he help me? So for anybody to help you out first, that's secondary. Whether a person can help you or not, that's secondary. The primary thing here is whether that person listens to the problem, whether he knows about the problem, right? To know the problem, he should listen to it first. Hal yasma'unakum, right? So see, that's the reason why this is an intelligent question from Sayyidina Ibrahim. That hal yasma'unakum, do they hear you? When is tad'una, when you call. So यहाँ पे we don't find mafulun bihi mentioned. Tad'unahum, you don't see when you call them. Is tad'unahum, when you call them, because this is understood. Now this thing I told you yesterday that I would check. Yes, the thing that is in the brackets by no cosine, that is the ayat from the Quran that's mentioned in the Quran. These are the words quoted from the Quran here. Anything that you find in the brackets here. So this is from the Quran. Hal yasma'unakum is tad'u. So you find that the beauty of the language is that there is no repetition of the things unnecessarily. Because obviously you know tad'una, it means whom, right? Whom is understood here. So you don't have to mention whom again. So as I say, you don't say hal yasma'unakum is tad'una whom. Do they listen to you? Do they listen to you when you call them? So do they listen to you when you call them is understood, right? So that goes to show the beauty of this language, because whom is understood here. أو ينفعونكم أو يضرون, or benefit you or harm you, right? أو ينفعونكم, ينفعون يضرون. ينفعون benefit, يضرون harm. So do they listen to you when you call them, or benefit you or they harm you? Do they do any of this thing? And it continues, qalu, they said, bal wajadna aba'ana kazalika yaf'alun. So they said that rather, they said rather, bal rather, wajadna, we found, wajada yajidu, finding something. Wajada means, it's what kind of verb this is? Misal. So we have wajada, so wajadna. So we can see that dal here, the ain lam kalima has a schoon. So na would be the file. So you don't say wajadana. If it was wajadana, then wajada is fa'ala, huwa, right? Na is an attached pronoun then, right? So then na is mafulun bihi. So wajadana would in that case mean he found us. Wajadana, he found us. But that's not the verb here. It is lam has a schoon. So this is a part of the conjugation, right? That we read wajada, wajada, wajadu, then we have wajadana. So na is the file here. It is not maf'ulun bihi. So you can see the difference that a fatha could make on the lam kalima on the third radical here. If there was a fatha, it totally would change. So that's the reason why we had to be very careful in reading. We had to be very vigilant. Wajadna. Wajadna means we found. Wajadana means he found us. No, so here it is wajadna. Qalu, they said, bal wajadna, rather wajadna, we found aba'ana, our fathers. Now you see that here, aba'ana, you see aba'ana and wajadna. There's a na here, both are the nas here, and you see the beauty here in this, both are mentioned back to back. In aba'ana, na is mudaf ilay. Wajadna, aba'ana, abana is mudaf, is both are nouns. Aba'ana is noun plus noun, so this is mudaf ilay. Wajadna is a verb and na is the file. So we found our fathers. So Abba is noun mudaf alayh, but it's also the maf'ulun bihi of wajadna. That's the reason why it is mansub. Abba'ana. It was actually Abba'una, our fathers. But it is mansub here because this is the maf'ulun bihi of wajada. Wajadna, right? Na is the file. Abba'ana is mudaf alayh. And it is the maf'ulun bihi. That's the reason why it is mansub. Abba and I can see the difference between the two nas here. The first na in Wajadna is a file, and the second na that comes here, Abba ana, that is mudaf ilayh. So they said rather, we found our fathers kazalika yaf'alun. We found our fathers doing likewise. Kazalika, ka means like that, huh? Zalika. So this is ka is again harfu jar. Kazalika yaf'alun. So we found yaf'aluna. They doing it. We found our fathers likewise, doing likewise. Qala Ibrahim, Sayyidina Ibrahim said, فَأَنَا لَا أَعْبُدُ هَذِهِ الْأَصْنَامِ. So Sayyidina Ibrahim said that, well, okay, I do not worship these idols. فَأَنَا لَا أَعْبُدُ. So he could have simply said here, لَا أَعْبُدُ هَذِهِ الْأَصْنَامِ. But ana la abudu is for emphasis. So you can see that ana is mentioned and then abudu. Abudu automatically means I worship. La abudu means I do not worship. So it's a negation. So abudu is like we have ya abudu. So if you do five in your pocket, ya abudu, ta'abudu, a'abudu. So a'abudu is fi'lun mudari'un marfu'un bi dammati zahira. Fa'iluhu mustatir taqdirhu ana. So obviously this is understood. La abudu means I do not worship. But when we say ana la abudu, so you make in jumla ismiya and you bring in ana, so there is an additional emphasis here, right? So here ana would be the mubtada, right? And la abudu would be the khabar. Ana la abudu hadhihi al-asnam. I do not worship these with an emphasis. हालांकि एडिशनल कोई emphasis word हमने यूज नहीं किया यहाँ पे, just हमने ana mention extra कर दिया, तो it brought in extra. I do not worship these idols. هذه الأصنام. So these idols, not this, because we have to say هذه. So we say هذه الأصنام, these idols. So because هذه is because asnam is not sound, so this is non-human plural. So you have to use هذه here. بل أنا عدو لهذه الأصنام. In fact, or rather, I am enemy of these for these idols. عدو أنا عدو أنا عدو لهذه الأصنام, for these idols. أنا عدو means enemy. وأنا أعبد رب العالمين. I worship Lord of the worlds. Alameen is plural. Rabb al-alamin. So Rabba is maf'ulun bihi of the verb a'budu. A'budu fi'lun mudari'u marfu'un. Then we again have the ayats from the Quran here. الذي خلقني فهو يهدين والذي هو يطعمني ويسقين وإذا مرضت فهو يشفين والذي يميتني ثم يحيين. See how beautiful these words are here, and in rhythm as well. So allazi, so he's saying that ana a'budu rabbal alamin, that I worship Lord of the worlds. And then he's defining, right? You see, allazi, the one who, khalaqani, who created me, khalaqa, verb, madi, fi'lun madi, and ya is maf'ulun bihi, it's an attached pronoun, and noon is noon vikaya here. So the one who created me, fahuwa yahdin. Now, fahuwa, so allazi khalaqani, the one who created me, fahuwa yahdin. And then he guides me, fahuwa yahdin, and then he guides me. Now, here, what kind of word is this yahdin? We haven't seen this kind of a word. So we have the word hada. What's the word? Hada, madi. Hada, yahdi, right? Hada, yahdi. So hada, yahdi. And when we say hada, yahdi, now if we have to attach ya mutakallim to it, yahdi is verb, right? Mudari'a, fi'lun mudari'a. So you say yahdi, yahdini, yahdini, right? Yahdini. Now, yahdini, here what happened, it is actually, the word here is yahdini. Noon is noon vikaya, like we have the noon vikaya here, and then we have ya mutakallim. Now, what happened, ya mutakallim got dropped here. You see, that gives you the beauty, but it left its nishani there. Noon. This is actually noon vikaya. Noon vikaya. When do we use noon vikaya? When we have to protect the verb from any chains. And when do the chains occur? When we have ya mutakallim there. So those who have studied Arabic, they know that this principle that noon vikaya has been brought there. तो हमने क्या कर दिया, ब्यूटिफिकेशन के लिए अपनी लैंग्वेज को खूबसूरत बनाने के लिए, that's the ijaz of the Quran. So it dropped it, but this noon vikaya tells us actually that there is a ya. So it says it's actually yahdini, right? He guides me, but you see we dropped it, yahdin, right? It means he guides me. So that's the beauty. Allazi khalaqani fahuwa yahdin. And you see, then that's you can see that it rhymes with all the words. Yashqeen, yashfeen, yuhyin. It's more beautiful, more eloquent than saying yahdini, yasqini, yashfin. It's more beautiful here this way. So, wallazina huwa yut'imuni, wallazina huwa yut'imuni, and he's the one huwa yut'imuni, who feeds me. Yut'imuni, feeds me. Yasqeen, and gives me drink. Saqa, yasqi, gives me drink, right? He's the one who feeds me and gives me drink. Yaskina, again, you have the ya mutakallim here that got dropped, and you have nun vikaya there, ending the word with nun vikaya there. Yaskini, it was actually. Wa idha maridtu, when I am marid, when I'm sick, when I'm ill, fahuwa yashfin, he cures me. When I am sick, he cures me. Walazi yumituni, and he is the one who causes me to die. Yumituni summa yuhyin, and then he will bring me back to life. Yuhyini, yuhyini. So see how these are all the ayats from the Quran that are in the brackets. Wa innal asnama la takhluqu wa la tahdi. So, and thirdly, the idols la takhluqu, they do not create anything, nor do they guide. Wala tahdi, they do not guide. Wa innaha la tut'imu ahadan wala tasqi, and they do not, and certainly they do not feed anyone. La tasqi, and they do not give drink, right? Ahadan, tut'imu ahadan, anyone. They do not feed anyone. Wala tasqi, and they do not give anyone drink. Saqa yasqi is the verb. Saqa yasqi, yasqi, taski, aski, naski. All right. Then we have وَإِذَا مَرِضَ أَحَدٌ, and when someone becomes sick, marida ahadun fahiya la tashfi, and they do not cure, right? فهي لا تشفي, they do not cure. شفا يشفي. So these are all the basic verbs. وإنها لا تميت أحدا ولا تحيي. وإنها لا تميت أحدا ولا تحيي, and verily they do not cause anyone to die, nor do they give life. So this was lesson number 9 and lesson number 8 that we studied. There are new words here, and new constructions that we studied. And ja'ala, remember this word ja'ala, hada, yaghlibu, and so it's a very basic ones. And then we have these things. You see the beauty in these sentences, in these ayats from the Quran. الذي خلقني فهو يهدين والذي هو يطعمني ويسقين وإذا مرضت وهو يشفين والذي يميتني ثم يحين. With that we end the lesson. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.